Seven. Over here. Seven. Over here. Look here. Look here. Seven. Look here. Seven over here. Seven. Over here. Seven. Smile.
When it comes to celebrity feuds, we all know the heavy hitters, Drake versus Kendrick, Taylor versus Kanye. These are the beefs that dominate headlines, break the internet, and fuel 3 a.m. Twitter dissertations from people with anime avatars and strong opinions. So while everyone's busy decoding rap beefs and Met Gala side-eyes, we're more interested in the feuds that left us asking, wait, that happened? I'm Seven McAllister for 7 Entertainment. Let's take a look at 7 of the weirdest celebrity feuds. Now, before we get into that, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and give the sweetest little nudge to that notification bell. Number 1. All I Want for Christmas is Feud. If you had told someone in 2001 that Mariah, Carey, and Eminem would end up in one of pop culture's weirdest long-term feuds, they'd assume it was part of a Mad Lib, pop diva, angry white rapper, alleged romantic entanglement. But nope, this one is real. It's awkward, chaotic, and sprinkled with denial, diss tracks, and just enough gaslighting to qualify as psychological performance art. Eminem has spent literal years claiming that he and Mariah dated, not in a we went on a thing once way, but in a we were emotionally involved and you're pretending it didn't happen kind of way. Mariah, she has always denied it. Flat out, cold as a diamond in Aspen. In her words, in a 2002 interview with Maxim magazine, she said, I hung out with him, I spoke to him on the phone, I think I was probably with him a total of 4 times, and I don't consider that dating somebody. Cue Eminem losing his mind in rhyme. Over the years, he name-dropped her in several songs, usually bitter, occasionally creepy. Things hit a boiling point in 2009 when Eminem dropped Bagpipes from Baghdad, a track that not only took shots at Mariah, but also dragged her then-husband Nick Cannon into the mess. Mariah's response? A glitter-drenched, chart-topping uppercut in the form of a song called Obsessed. The video featured her dressed up like a stalkery Eminem lookalike, hoodie, goatee, deranged eyes, following herself around like a Slim Shady phantom, with the chorus singing about him being delusional. It was savage, it was theatrical, it was not subtle. Naturally, Eminem took it well. Just kidding. He clapped back with the warning, a diss track so unhinged it felt less like a song and more like an audio deposition. He included alleged voicemails from Mariah, claimed to have receipts, and basically made the case that you shouldn't piss off Eminem ever. Since then, the feud has gone cold, but not forgotten. Nick Cannon occasionally tries to revive it like a hype man for a ghost beef. Mariah, meanwhile, floats above it all, sipping champagne, running Christmas, and still pretending she has no idea what Marshall Mathers is even talking about. At this point, Eminem's frustration with her is practically a genre of music, and Mariah's ability to pivot away from it, well, that's art. Number 2. Double Daria. Back in 1994, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno hosted what should have been just another harmless late-night couch hang. One guest was Burt Reynolds, Hollywood legend, All-American heartthrob, WrestleMania 10 guest announcer, and fresh off a very public divorce from Lonnie Anderson. The other, Mark Summers, the affable host of Double Dare, Nickelodeon's king of slime and trivia, known for being so clean-cut he makes Ryan Seacrest look edgy. Now, these two men had nothing in common, not a thing, which is probably why the universe decided to put them on the same couch for a segment that somehow spiraled into a low-stakes food fight and one of the most random celebrity feuds in late-night history. Now, earlier in the show, Leno had made a joke about Bert's divorce, and it certainly soured the mood. Mark Summers tried to make small talk. He said something self-depreciating about not liking to get messy, but always ended up that way, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. Bert sarcastically said that he would love to watch Mark's show. The crowd gave that nervous kinda "are we laughing?" chuckle. Mark tried to recover, mentioning that he was still married. Well, that's all Bert needed before he dumped his cup of water in Summers' lap. And when Summers tried to counter with his own cup of water, Bert managed to bat it away. The tension, palpable. The vibe, like divorced dad energy meets germophobic game show host. And then it escalated. After a brief return to normalcy, Summers was finally able to toss a mug of water onto Reynolds. Hoo-hoo, take that, Stroker Ace. Jay Leno tried to laugh it off. The audience went nuts. And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, stagehands brought out pies for the combatants, which, if you're wondering how they had so many pies so quickly, these were actually props for a Double Dare stunt they were going to do. The duo stood back to back and then hammered each other with pies. They even tried to toss one on Leno, but he managed to weasel out of it, which, we would later learn was very on brand. Number 3, Feud for Thought. Once upon a time, in the world of heirloom tomatoes and aggressively curated charcuterie boards, two blonde, well-manicured titans of taste collided, and it got passive-aggressive real fast. On one side, you have Martha Stewart, the original domestic deity. She was DIYing before Pinterest, baking before cottagecore, and made going into federal prison look like a spa retreat. On the other side, you got Gwyneth Paltrow, Oscar-winning actress turned jade egg-peddling wellness mogul. She didn't just launch a brand, she launched Goop, a lifestyle empire built on $80 candles that smell like her personal brand. So naturally, when Gwyneth decided she wanted to enter the Marthaverse, recipes, home goods, newsletters, spiritual cleanses, Martha was not having it. In an interview with Bloomberg TV in 2014, Stewart would say, "She just needs to be quiet. She's a movie star. If she were confident in her acting, she wouldn't be trying to be Martha Stewart." That was Martha's way of saying, "Know your lane, sweetie." But Gwyneth, fluent in the dialect of subtle shade, wasn't going to be iced out. In 2014, Martha published a Thanksgiving pie article titled Conscious Coupling, a play on Paltrow's infamous divorce phrase. That same year, Goop clapped back with a recipe for jailbird cake, a cheeky nod to Martha's time in federal prison. Yes, these women were dueling with desserts like it was a scone-fueled game of scones. Ah, damn it, it was right there. The whole feud was deliciously ridiculous, rich white women in turtlenecks flinging insults via pie crusts and press quotes. And while neither ever came right out and said, "I will destroy you with my superior lemon curd," tension was real and gorgeously passive. Eventually, the feud simmered down like a reduction glaze on a $400 Dutch oven. Martha has claimed they've made peace, but with that kind of tone that says, "Oh, bless her heart." Number 4, Swing and a Miss. Back in 2014, Orlando Bloom was fresh off his divorce from supermodel Miranda Kerr. He was charming, unbothered, and coasting on that Lord of the Rings swagger. Justin Bieber, on the other hand, was deep in his shirtless menace era, crashing Lamborghinis, getting arrested for egging houses, and turning every VIP room into a cautionary tale. Cut to July 29th, 2014, the two find themselves at a restaurant in Ibiza, Spain. Ibiza? Crowd, models, millionaires, and two very famous men with a mutual ex problem. See, rumors had long swirled that Justin had gotten a little too flirty with Bloom's then wife Miranda Kerr, reportedly hanging out with her after the 2012 Victoria's Secret fashion show. Then, in a messy twist of fate, Orlando was spotted with Bieber's ex Selena Gomez just a few months later in Ibiza. So yeah, the vibes were not great. According to witnesses, Bieber walked up to Bloom's table and said something smug. Bloom stood up, words were exchanged, tensions boiled over, and then it happened. Orlando Bloom threw a punch at Justin Bieber, a literal, actual swing, reportedly in front of Leonardo DiCaprio, who according to at least one account cheered. Sadly, the punch missed, but emotionally, it landed. Bieber fled the scene, but not before allegedly muttering something about Miranda Kerr on his way out, just to keep the drama simmering. A few hours later, Justin posted a photo of Miranda in a bikini to Instagram, then he deleted it, then he posted a photo of Orlando Bloom looking sad and teary-eyed, then he deleted that too. Seriously, is this how this generation fights? Passive-aggressive social media? When I was their age, we'd bloody each other up, then, hug it out and play some GoldenEye. Anyhow, within hours, Orlando Bloom punches Bieber was trending worldwide. Headlines ran with it, fans memed it, and for one brief glorious moment, Orlando Bloom was a folk hero, the man who tried to do what so many others had dreamed of. In the years since, neither has spoken much about the incident, but to this day, somewhere out there, a waiter in Ibiza is still telling the story of the night Legolas tried to punch a Canadian pop star. But I get it, I would absolutely take a punch in the face for Selena Gomez. Number 5, Livewires. Back in the late 70s, Saturday Night Live was still in its chaotic, brilliant infancy. Chevy Chase had already blown up as one of the show's first breakout stars, then left after season 1 to go be a movie star, and according to some, a walking ego in bell-bottoms. Cut to February 18th, 1978, Chevy returns to host SNL in what should have been a triumphant homecoming, except now, Bill Murray was on the cast and not exactly thrilled with having to play second banana to Chevy's triumphant strut down memory lane. Chevy reportedly strutted into the studio acting like the king had returned. One instance had Chevy insisting that he take the Weekend Update spot from Jane Curtin and reportedly saying, "Jane, let's face it, you can't be on the screen with me at the same time." Cast members didn't appreciate his attitude. Murray especially didn't appreciate it. Tensions finally exploded backstage moments before showtime, and according to everyone who was there, they got into a full-on fist fight in front of the crew right before Chevy went on air, like literal punches right before Live from New York. Insults were hurled. Allegedly, Bill dropped a bomb making light of Chase's marital issues, saying something along the lines of, "Go fuck your wife, I hear she needs it." To which Chevy reportedly responded with a joke comparing Murray's complexion to the surface of the moon. According to castmate Lorraine Newman, the vibe was horrible. Think less fun prank war and more two uncles fighting over a parking spot at Thanksgiving. Despite throwing hands, both went on to have wildly successful careers. They even appeared together in Caddyshack, where the duo shared one awkward scene that had to be forced into the script because they couldn't stand each other. But through working together, the duo were able to make peace, and they haven't had any backstage brawls since. Number 6. No Thanks, Hanks. In a world of celebrity meltdowns, passive-aggressive Instagram stories, Bieber, and publicist-crafted apologies, Hollywood has gifted us with the gentlest, most passive feud of all time, Henry Winkler versus Tom Hanks, a grudge so wholesome it practically apologizes for existing. Yes, the Fonz and one of the bosom buddies hate each other, or at the very least have been giving each other the silent treatment since 1989. All started on the set of Turner and Hooch, the buddy cop movie where Hanks shares top billing with a drooling dog. Winkler was originally hired to direct and lasted exactly 13 days before he was told in so many words, "You're great, but we're going with someone who isn't you." Winkler's firing was chalked up to creative differences, which is Hollywood is usually code for someone threw a chair, but not in this case. This was more of a somebody offered constructive feedback in a tone that was slightly too confident. Years later, Winkler broke his dignified silence just enough to throw the softest shade imaginable. He said, "Let's just say I got along better with Hooch than I did with Turner." Ooh, absolutely savage. And as for Hanks, not a peep, no rebuttal, no clarification, just a big old Tom Hanks-shaped void where a comment should be. Either he's the bigger man or he truly has no memory of Winkler's existence, which honestly would be even more brutal. Over the years, Winkler's been asked about it multiple times, and his vibe is always the same. "I don't understand him, but I don't hate him." So here we are, decades deep into a Cold War between two of the most beloved men in showbiz, the tension so subtle it can be measured with a feather. There have been no tabloid exposés, no award show moments, but also not even a hint of reconciliation. And yet this feud endures like a nice, slow-burning, scented candle of resentment. What does it smell like? Honestly, who needs cage matches and diss tracks when you have two unreasonably charming icons just quietly refusing to speak to each other for 35 years? Number 7. Rocket Man vs. Material Girl. Back in the early 2000s, two of pop music's most bedazzled icons found themselves locked in a battle. In one corner, Sir Elton John, piano virtuoso, sequin enthusiast, and owner of a verbal flamethrower. On the other, Madonna, high priestess of pop, eternal reinvention machine, and a woman for who eyebrows are more of a suggestion than a rule. Their feud went public in 2002 at the Q Awards when Madonna won Best Original Song for Die Another Day, a perfectly okay Bond track that Elton felt deserved absolutely nothing. During an interview with Sky News at the event, Elton let it rip. "Madonna, best song? F*** off." Just like that, a legendary beef was born. 2 years later, Elton was back for another round, this time going after her 2004 reinvention tour. During a speech at the Q Awards, yes, again, apparently, Elton only beefs on British red carpets. He told the BBC News, "Anyone who lip syncs in public on stage when you pay £75 to see them should be shot." Madonna's rep responded by saying Madonna does not lip sync, nor does she spend her time trashing other artists. Translation, geez, relax, Grandpa, we'll get off your lawn. But Elton wasn't done. In 2012, right before Madonna's Super Bowl halftime performance, he told Good Morning America, "Make sure you lip sync good. She's such a nightmare." And after the show, he told the Mirror, "It was a disaster. Her career is over." Madonna's response, a cool, calculated burn. At a concert in France later that year, she dedicated her song Masterpiece, the same track that had beat Elton's Hello Hello at the Golden Globes, directly to him. She'd say, "I know he's a big fan of it, and I know he's a fan of mine, and you know what? I forgive him." Aw, forgiveness via ballad. kind of beautiful. Finally, in 2013, Elton called a truce. During an interview with Extra, he revealed that he and Madonna had bumped into each other at a restaurant. He offered an apology and she accepted. He'd say she was very gracious. I apologized profusely because what I had said should have never appeared in public. The feud was over, but the legacy, a glorious pile of verbal glitter bombs that still spark joy to this day. Well, there's our list. Did we leave out any other weirdo celebrity feuds? If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please do us a solid, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and give a sweet tippity tap to that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Seven McAllister for 7 Entertainment saying bye-bye.